Macra tent, and in with us this afternoon is presidential candidate Jagoe to Gael. Gael, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
We have a few very short questions here to ask you, just regarding the presidential election. And they're all yes no answers, but if you want, you can expand on it. So the first question, should the age for a presidential candidate be reduced to 21 years?
Well, there's no problem if it is reduced to 21 years because I could have run then 3 years ago if that was the case. But I actually think that people want to reduce it to 21. Why not? In Britain, you can become head of state. You know, if your parent dies, you can head of state very young, so I really don't see why not 21. But 35 was put in there a long time ago, and I think 21-year-olds are very, certainly my 21-year-olds seem to think a lot more than me. I would have no trouble with that.
Very good. Number 2, do you think that the process of becoming a presidential candidate should be simplified?
Well, if we simplify it and have 100 candidates, it could become very confusing. And the problem with it is that the election of president is a bit like a by-election nationally. And you can see we already have 5 candidates, you could end with 6 or 7 candidates. I don't know how you organise debates around that. But if it could be done in a way that facilitated people to run, I would have no problem. But I don't know what the outcome would be. I think if you look at the present system, people who are independent have been able to come through, despite the fact, for example, that Fine Gael have a huge number of councillors, another party of councillors. So it works, but if people think it should be changed, I have no problem.
Very good. Should the president have a greater role in the governance of the country?
I think the president has to be very careful not to get involved in trying to do the job of the government, because it can become very political. But the president is the political office. It's not a party political office. The president is part of our national parliament, the Oireachtas. The Oireachtas is not the Dáil Senate. The houses of the Oireachtas are the Dáil Senate. The Oireachtas is the Dáil Senate and the president. And being president is a political job. I'm a businessman. My business is politics. I want to bring my experience as a politician to this job in a very impartial and fair way. But I don't want to, and I swear to uphold the Constitution and the law and to pursue the welfare of the people, which is what the oath of office is. I want to keep to that oath. I don't want to be playing party politics with the office or to get myself in the hair of the government. But you can work with the government of the day to help enhance enterprise using the prestige of the office at home and abroad. But on your own you can pursue the welfare of the people. And I will try to, for example, address the suicide issue. I think there is an issue there. If you look at our proclamation, it speaks of happiness and prosperity. And we were very prosperous, but there were issues about our happiness. And I think the president can work on that. So within the remit, I think there's a lot can be done. It is provided under the Constitution that the Oireachtas can confer extra powers on the president. And that's a matter for the Oireachtas.
Excellent. In your opinion, would the president of Macra or similar organisations be a candidate for a seat on the council estate?
Well, I'm here with the former president of Macra. He thinks that's a very good idea. I have to say that the president should appoint people on the basis of their individuality, not on the basis of representation. And I think you could get into difficulties if you start appointing people that you could then have somebody saying, well, you should have a trade unionist and you should have somebody from IBEC. But certainly agriculture and the rural community plays an important part in our society. You know, I wouldn't appoint somebody because they're part of a particular association, but maybe on a rural background as one of the 7 wouldn't be a bad idea.
Should the election be held on a Saturday to facilitate younger people?
I don't know why it's not being held on a Friday this year or a Saturday this year. Maybe it's because there's costs involved. I don't understand the idea for it. But a lot of people seem to think that Friday would be a better day. We had Friday before. In some countries they have it over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. If it gave more people the opportunity to vote, I would support it. But it gives the most people the opportunity to vote. Now there is a cost factor involved because it's to pay extra pay for Saturdays, but elections are fairly infrequent, so it couldn't be that expensive.
And if you were lucky enough to become President of Ireland, how would you use the presidency to improve the lives of younger people?
Well, I hope you won't mind me quoting Gary Player. Gary Player was asked when he was so successful at golf, did luck play a part? And he said yes. But the funny thing is that the more you practice, the luckier you get. So I don't think it would be luck. I think a lot of the practice of me going around the country, from the very first day I sought the nomination, and the very first day I got the nomination, I started my campaign a few days later with an agricultural show in Feirme in Wexford. And I was very pleased to see the farming poll this morning, where I am some points ahead of the rest of the field with the farming community. I think that makes a particular point. Nice for that to happen in the same week that we won the Salmon World Cup.
And in terms of young people, how could you use the presidency to help young people?
Well, first of all, the polls show, strangely enough, I don't know whether it's strange enough, that the strongest support I'm getting is among the youngest people. When we had the contest in Fine Gael, we had three constituent parts of the party: the parliamentary party, the councillors and the executive council. And young Fine Gael met, and 80% of the 70-odd people who were there supported me. I think in this area of happiness, of inclusion, not pretend inclusion, not inclusion that says you're inclusive because you're part of the trend of the day. I think by being really inclusive, I think we can be a happier society. And that's the best thing I can do for young people. Let me just say this: if you're a Catholic, you'll be welcomed in the Irish when I'm there. If you're a Protestant of any denomination, or dissent, or Jewish, or Muslim, or if you're atheist, or humanist, or if you're black, or white, or gay, or straight, or whatever your father works at, I will be really inclusive. And I want to challenge, as part of my presidency, this sort of politically correct inclusiveness that people seem to think is inclusiveness. I want a really inclusive society, and I think that's the best thing I can do for young people, to make our society prosperous again by promoting enterprise and social justice, rights and responsibilities. Everybody says that, a lot of people say that social justice and rights, but other people provide for it. I say, and this is the direction I think we have to go in, I want to lead people in parish by parish, community by community, with every right goes a responsibility for yourself and to others. And if you want social justice, good social services, good health services, good educational services, not for somebody else, for us, for people like my mother, who grew up in comfortable circumstances and then was widowed when she was 47 with a house full of kids, then you have to encourage the enterprising spirit to create that wealth. And we encourage those four pillars, that framework, that ethos: enterprise and social justice, rights and responsibilities. We will have a prosperous society and a happier society. That's what our proclamation of 1916 spoke about, and that's what I want to lead people to. I think that's the best thing I can do for young people. I say that as somebody who was a youth leader myself for 11 years, and I met my wife as a youth leader. She was a youth leader as well.
Very good. Well, on behalf of Macra National President, I want to wish you the very, very best of luck in the election. Thank you very much.